Hello, Scorpio. Thank you very much for tuning into this week's read. For the main part of the read, I'm using Tarot Illuminati by Eric C. Dunn, Supportive Oracle Cards, The Spirit Animal Oracle by Colette Baron Reed. Okay. What do we have for Scorpio? Ooh. You get a lot of love references popping in already. Let's see where this goes. Ooh. Okay. There's a lot of love references popping in here. A lot. It doesn't have to be romantic. I think that's why I'm seeing that right off the bat. This doesn't have to be romantic. This just means that your heart is in it. You can have these very important feelings for a friendship, a family member, even a coworker if they mean enough to you. So, but there's like a lot. There's like the Two of Cups, the Otter, the Groundhog is holding a heart, Ace of Cups, the Queen of Cups, the Hummingbird. You know, all of these are love connected when I read. So, again, doesn't have to go that way. Just a grain of salt going forward because I'm probably going to go all about the frickin' relationship. So if it doesn't hit that way, I apologize. Otter with the Two of Cups. Now, this is somebody not only that you care about, going right into this, whoever you're dealing with, whatever this is about, not only do you care about them, you feel the need to take care of them. Like, it's not just like you care about them, you feel like you have to take care of them. You have to like, okay, what are you doing today? Are you okay? You're gonna get where you need to go. Do you got enough food to eat? Like, it's almost like that. It might not be that bad, but it might be kind of like, you know, emotionally, are they all right? You know, I know you're going through a difficult situation. I know work is rough for you right now. Are you handling it okay? Is anything going on? Tell me what's happening. Let me help you talk this out. You're really looking out for somebody here. Could be just the mundane stuff, like did you get to work today safely or wherever they need to go. I feel like for a lot of you, it's emotionally you're looking out for this person, like what they're going through. You know that they're kind of having some issues, and you're like, keep talking to me, tell me what's going on, keep me in the loop. I can talk this out with you. That way this doesn't get too bad. And like if you get upset, you can talk with me. I'll help you. You know, I'll help you get control of this. You're very much looking out for somebody, very, very, very much. Like your heart, like I'm feeling it already. Like, you know, if somebody causes an issue, you're like, I'll come over there. Like if somebody starts with you, I'll come over there. It's one of those energies. The rabbit is going on in the environment. The rabbit's not a bad card, but when I'm feeling this, whoever you're dealing with, the rabbit is showing up for them. It's not just like that's the situation. It's like they're also pulling this rabbit energy. This is making it very complicated. One of the things they need to do, the first thing I'm getting is they need to slow down. I'm an intuitive reader. I just go with what I'm pulling off the card, and I'm pulling that they're going too fast. This is what's making it really, really rough. And they might give you every reason in the book that they have to do this the way they have to do this. It's not quite on point. You might not, I don't know if you're going to be privy to another viewpoint with that, but I'm getting that they don't really need to go as fast as it seems. They need to slow down. If they slow down and calm down, it won't be as hard. It won't be that bad. They're causing themselves a lot of stress because they're raising the bar too high. They're going too fast. Some of them are rushing to get through something, like they want to get it done. No, they need to slow down. This is the problem. And you might not realize that, because I feel like they're telling you, like, this is how it goes. It's not like I have a choice. It has to go like this. And the energy I'm getting is like, no, that's not really how that is. It does have an option to slow down. They just don't want to for some reason. But by not slowing down, it's really making it hard on them. So they're not really seeing that they need to slow down. It's almost like they feel like if they slow down, they just drag out the sadness or whatever they're going through, they just drag out the pain that much longer. That's not really how it would work, though. If they slow it down, the pain would lessen, and they could deal with things better, and things would kind of even out a little better. you might have to, this, for you to figure that out, like first realizing that it needs to, you might, I mean, Scorpio's water. Water typically has some intuitiveness in there. You might already be feeling like, really, does this really have to go that fast? To really help the situation, you got the seahorse with the Five of Cups. You got to watch them get a couple bruises and bumps. That's the Five of Cups. You got to watch them get a couple bruises and bumps. They're going to bump around a bit. You got to kind of absorb it. Keep them talking. You ask like, you're going to get some intuitive nudges. And I'm really, like, most water signs are like that. Some of the other signs do it too here and there. But water signs especially, they get intuitive nudges. And you just ask the right question, and you might not even be understanding why you're asking a question, but let it fly, let it go, let it come out. Just see what happens when you ask these questions. You might even be saying to yourself, "Why am I asking that? Like, why do I even care?" Go with the question. Just see what happens. See what you get back from it. Because you got to kind of absorb what's going on here. You got to find out some more of the details. You got to get them to finally divulge that they do have an option to slow down. By watching them get a couple bruises and bumps and asking the appropriate questions, I feel like you're going to see the other possibilities. And you're going to be able to work with this person to help them see, hey, there's different ways to do this. You know, hey, I think you do have an option to slow down here, and you need to. It's kind of like, this is a 30-mile-an-hour road, and you're going 45, telling me that everybody goes 45, so you have to keep up with traffic. And in truth, no, you don't. You know, people going 45 get pulled over, get tickets, and some people, if the roads aren't, if the roads are icy, they get in trouble pretty seriously. So maybe you don't have to, break that rule like everybody else, as if that's what it takes to keep up with the situation. They're going to have to get a couple bumps and bruises. I'm sorry, I just don't see a way around it. Because the more bumps and bruises they have, the crow spirit shows up. Think about crow. When something goes wrong, they squawk about it. Like, they're so loud about it. Which is actually, like, in a warning sense, that's really good. Other people find that very obnoxious, but the thing is, they get the message out there. They communicate. Problem, 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 problem. You know what I mean? Or, this is over here, this is over here, this is over here. They're very communicative, but they'll blow it in. They'll say, hey, this is going on over here. I don't think of them as a secretive bird. I just really don't. I like crows, but I just don't think of them as the most secretive. They're like, hey, that's going on. That's going on. So the more bumps and bruises, the more they complain about these bumps and bruises, that's where you're going to find out the truth. You're going to be able to talk this out with them, and you're going to be able to, like, I don't really like you getting bumped around and bruised, and you're telling me certain things that I'm noticing you didn't really have to do it that way. You didn't have to go, running around that corner so fast that you lost control, lost your footing, and hit the wall. You could have taken it a lot slower. You might have slipped a little, but you wouldn't have hit the wall. Like, you're kind of like, you kind of like, you have to talk it out with them, and you're showing how much you care, and you're like, I understand you're the one making that decision, what you want to do, but I don't like watching you get hurt. That's the groundhog, because it holds the heart here. It says time to let go. You're trying to tell them, let go of this need to go so fast. Let go of that. Anything else with that? We're going forward. We're like halfway through. I know. I feel like you're walking through this, and you have to literally get nitpicky with this. You have to get them to tell you the details. What can you slow down? What can't you slow down? And tell me why. What is this? How did that happen there? Give me the details. Why can't you slow down with that? Explain to me why you can't slow down to that. Explain to me what happens if you do slow down with that. You have to get like right into the nitty-gritty with this. With the mouse spirit, that's the details. You're helping this. See, you seem to be convincing them to slow down, but then they don't really slow down at first. That's what I'm getting. They're like agreeing with you. Yeah, I should slow down. Yeah, I got to do that slower. But then you're like, oh my God, scared my goodness. There's a bird next to the window, and my cat just went for it. So there goes my heart. Anyway, enjoy the excitement. Wasn't that fun? You have to convince this person to actually do it. They're agreeing, like, you don't have to convince them. They're actually agreeing with you that you're right and they have to slow down, but then you have to go through it with them and say, all right, well, you're not slowing down. Why are you not slowing down? Hey, Logan, enough. It's outside. It's a bird. Okay, I can't even do it. Because yelling at my cat that it's a bird, that works. Yep. Anyway, I don't know. You have to walk through the details with this person. You have to show them ways they can slow down. I wonder if that's going to be an aggravating moment, because like I'm aggravated a little bit now. I was going to blame it on the cat, but I'm wondering if it's coming off these cards, because it's kind of like, you said you were going to slow down. Why aren't you slowing down? All right, let's go through the details. Why do you think you can't slow this down? Tell me what happens if you do. You're helping this person. You got communication coming in with the Ace of Swords. It's very funny to me, because I almost feel like this situation isn't like, it's almost like you're dealing with a friend or a partner or a family member, and you don't really do what they do. You're not the person in there doing it. They're doing it, but you're almost telling them how to do something that you're not really. It's almost like your partner works at like a pharmaceutical company and you work over somewhere else, completely somewhere else. And you're like, tell me what you're doing, tell me how you're doing this. And you have to tell them, actually, instead of doing that, do it this way, and then do this first, and do that next. Like, you're telling them, you have to tell them literally how to do their job. And you're like, I don't even do that work. But they have to walk through you, like, you have to be like, hey, can you do that first? Well, then do that first. Why do you have to wait for this? What happens if you do that before that? Well, then do that before that. And you literally have to set this up for them. But you're putting a lot of stability here. You're really helping them go through this. My cat's about to do something. I can see him. He's a little crazy man today. They love this. They seem to love this. You're helping them really sort it out. The lizard with the hummingbird with the King of Pentacles. It starts off with the lizard. When I feel lizard's all over the place, in my opinion. It says, dream the world into being, which is fine. But I feel like when I think of a lizard, they're like all over the place. And they're like up here, down here, under there, over there, they're all over the place, right? It goes into the hummingbird, which is your influence on this person. Hummingbird to me is love. And this, it says, be here now. Which be here now makes sense, because like you're snapping them into focus, but they're also feeling the love. They know you care about them and you're very helpful. You're not trying to make them do anything that's not going to go to their benefit. And they see how much you care, and they also know very easily that you want them to succeed. So you're not trying to get something over them, so they have no reason not to trust you. The King of Pentacles is the situation stabilizing, solidifying, stabilizing. And this person kind of like getting a pattern down here where they got to do this differently, slow it down, do things a little differently, get it under control so they're not getting so many bumps and bruises. I almost feel like you're like you're like their ace in the hole. You're over to the side. People don't know that you're helping them as much as you are. People don't understand why all of a sudden they're getting a hold of things and things are stabilizing. It's like people are watching them getting things under control and they're kind of impressed, but they don't realize that there's a Scorpio behind the scenes helping them. Like they don't know that. Things seem to be going a lot better. I feel like when you help them with this, it not only calms them down, it seems to be there's an issue around them. They might be like, them going so fast not only makes it difficult for them, but other people around them are getting very upset by this too. This squelches it brings the whole thing right down to kind of like more of a manageable level. It feels a lot better. All right. So that happens. It brings the situation down. Then it seems like it's evaluation time. You're going to hear about this person having to deal with or having to own up to their mistakes. Having to own up to their mistakes. Like they finally get the situation under control. And that's why there's this weird energy of the Ace of Cups with this Ten of Swords. There's things they did really wrong and things that they really screwed up. Bumps and bruises, and then people afterwards saying, why did that even happen? Why did you even do that? On the other hand, they're kind of like, you're really handling it well now. Things are going really well. It looks like you really got a hold of it. So I guess learning through the school of hard knocks worked out. It's very 6 to 1, half a dozen to the other. Like this person is going through like this audit where people are going, oh, what's with all those mistakes you made? Like, what were you thinking? At the same time going, but you've stabilized things so well, and things are going so well now, so they're praising them at the same time. It's very just like half one, I don't know what to say about that. And it's just kind of, they have to go with the flow on this one. That's what I'm getting with this turtle. It looks like a sea turtle, but it is a sea turtle. But This says slow and steady wins the race. They just kind of have to work through it. You're going to hear this person kind of complain about how this is hard to deal with and how they're getting a lot of mud slung at them because they have to constantly talk to the problems that they were a part of. But there's a lot of good going on here too. While this is happening, they're saying just take it with a grain of salt. Realize that you helped them stabilize this. Distract them from this. And just remind them it's going to take some time. Like, there was some mistakes made there. Just remind them it's going to take some time for that to, like, kind of just move on. It's kind of like letting the past go into the past. Just remind them it's going to take some of that. Kind of distract them from it is what I'm getting with the flamingo. It says embrace the in-between. I guess that makes sense to me. Show them try to distract them. Try to just let them realize it's going to take some time for it to go into the past, and just try to distract them. I'm getting like a distraction energy with the flamingo, which is, I've never really had that before with this card, and it's come up a bunch of times, so I don't know why it feels that way right now, but that's what I'm getting. Just kind of distract them, just kind of remind them, there was some bumps, bruises there. It's just going to take people a little time to kind of move on from it. The past doesn't happen really quickly. Like, it's funny, like, people are like, well, yesterday's the past. Well, yeah, but yesterday's the recent past, and people remember that very easily. A month ago, people tend to remember that fairly well. A year ago is a little bit less empowered or less energized. 10 years ago, it's hard to remember things 10 years ago, in my opinion. Like, unless it was really impactful, you're not going to remember what you had for lunch 10 years ago today. Not for nothing. You might not even remember what you had a week ago today for lunch, but possibly. But you know what I mean. It takes a while for the past to really fall into the past, so just giving it some timing, letting it sort out. I feel like this is all about the help you're giving someone else, and I feel like it's just like you want to help this person, and it's just like, I don't know, it just feels like the whole purpose of this is for you to just understand what's going on with them. I feel like a lot of you need the heads up about like this person going too fast and to like look for it. Others of you are getting to the end of this situation and you're kind of like, ooh, it's going kind of rough. There's a lot of good with this. Make them tell you about the good that's going on. Make sure that they tell you, like, they are getting praise for getting it under control. Nothing's completely destroyed here. You don't have the Tower card. We don't have the Death card. We don't have those cards showing up. The Ten of Swords is a rough card, but it's being backed up with the Ace of Cups, which is telling me nothing's destroyed. It's just, like, owning the past. I feel like it's owning the past. So if they're coming off like, oh my God, I'm getting this and that, and people are coming at me for this that happened and that happened, ask them like, yeah, but are they acknowledging what you're doing right now? Are they acknowledging the things that are going correct now? And when they tell you about that, I feel like it'll make more sense, and you'll be like, all right, so everything's not burning down to the ground. It's just they're making you responsible for choices you made that were not so good, which this will pass. Let's just roll with it, go with it, it will pass. You're doing better from here forward. Let's just acknowledge the past, but center on the future. Are we good? All right. I'm going to shut this down here. I hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. Thank you.